Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Liam here, and in today's video we're going to take a look at something that can help you with your workflow, and that's the Elgato Stream Deck. These are extremely handy devices to have for doing different kinds of tasks on your computer to make your workflow and everything go faster. But before we get into all the details about this new item, let's go ahead and roll the intro. All right, so as I mentioned before the intro, today we're taking a look at the Elgato Stream Deck. This is the Stream Deck 15 button. What these are is they're devices that you can tie into your PC or Mac, and then you install the application for it, and you can configure each of these little buttons to do different things. They can even have animated GIFs as their icons over the buttons. And so this thing can be used by photographers, videographers, gamers, streamers, you name it. There's just a ton of stuff that you can do with the Stream Deck. So we're going to get into that a little bit today. I'm going to show you what the software looks like and how you set up a new function or command within one of the buttons. So let's go ahead and move into the software, and I'll show you exactly how all of that works. Okay, so now if we go to the Elgato website, we can download the application that we need. So if we go to downloads, and the software you're going to need to download is Stream Deck 7.0.3, so you can download that here. It is available for both Mac and Windows, so both operating systems are covered. And then once you have it installed and launch the application, this is what it's going to look like. Now, this is my 15 button Stream Deck. I actually have three of them. I have the 15 button, the 8 button Neo, and the Plus as well. Just because I have multiple computers, so I have one for each computer. So this is the default profile that's installed with the Stream Deck when you first hook it up to your computer. And if we launch the preferences for the app, you can see here the app version. Mine's a little bit outdated, so I do need to install the update. So as you can see, updating it is really easy. It's all built right into the software. So we'll let this go ahead and run the update real quick. Okay, and then we're going to install the update, and I'll have the screen back up for you here in a second. Just doing the update real quick. So you can see it's running the update installer to make sure that my version is the current one, which is 7.0.3. And we're all done there. So then once we have the new version installed, we can go ahead and relaunch the application. And there we have it. And now if I go back into my preferences, once my Mac is done thinking here, come on. All right, so then I go back into preferences, and we can see that my version is updated now. You can have it automatically check for updates, open automatically at logon. Here's where you see your Stream Deck devices that you currently have hooked into your computer. And as you see, I have the Plus, the 5, or this one's listed as 5, and then the Stream Deck pedals. You can set up your accounts on this tab where you can add your Streamlabs, Twitch, or YouTube. And then here is where you can set up profiles. So as you see, it has a default profile when you first hook it up to your computer, but you can create additional profiles just by clicking here, add a new profile, and so on and so forth. You can have the profile tied to a specific application. If that is your preference, you could do that. But you don't have to. You can just leave it at none. Then we have the plugins tab, which shows you all of your plugins, and you can add and remove plugins from here. I'll get into those in a second. And then you have your styling tab for when it's on screensaver mode, when your computer's in screensaver mode, all that good stuff. Just to show you what it looks like. Okay, so here now on the main screen, we have our default buttons. So the first one is apps, and that has Mac Finder, Apple Mail, Chrome, Firefox, Safari, the Stream Deck app, calculator, and so on. If I go back and click links, these are some default web browser links that are installed with the default profile to Elgato's website, YouTube, X, TikTok, Twitch, and so on. This one will allow you to do a screenshot of your desktop. This one will actually take you to video tutorials for different sections of the Stream Deck software, whether it's plugins, actions, creating accounts, or setting up accounts, folders, so on and so forth. Then we have an emojis one, which shows emojis. And we have our mute, decrease volume, increase volume, as well as a tab to go to the next page. And you can see it says here by default, add more actions using pages, profiles, and folders. And you can add multiple pages as well. So you can actually configure a single Stream Deck to control a lot of items on your computer. Now over here is the different actions. So we have multi-action section. We have a navigation section. That'll allow you to push a button to switch your profile for your Stream Deck, go to previous page, next page, page indicator, page number, soundboard where you can play audio or stop audio, the Stream Deck tab where you can set a timer, control the brightness, put it in sleep mode. My Plus has the action bar, that's why you see that there. You won't necessarily have that, but you will have with the newer software. They do give you the option to have a virtual Stream Deck. So if I add that and then press the button, it creates a virtual Stream Deck up here in the corner, and it's just like a physical Stream Deck, and you can only use the virtual if you have a physical one plugged in as well when you initially set it up. But then you'll see that with even the virtual Stream Deck, I can set it to launch a website. So let's say I have it go to my website, my liamphotography.net website, and it'll automatically use the default browser. And you see it'll even pull my thumbnail ahead of time. So then if I click that virtual button, it will actually take us to my website. And there you see my website. Oops, Safari's not, there it goes. Safari was getting a little bit stuck there loading it for some reason, which is kind of odd. But so you see I triggered going to my website just using the virtual Stream Deck button up here. So a lot of flexibility with the Stream Deck, a lot of functionalities, a lot of capabilities, which is really cool. And I can turn that back off. So now I've gotten rid of my virtual Stream Deck. It's still configured. I'm just not using it right now. So, and it labels it Virtual Stream Deck 1. But if I go back to the 5, which is the one we're looking at right now, and we continue on, so I have some custom plugins that'll display an analog clock, my CPU usage, my current public IP address. You can use it to control Apple Music. You can use it to control the Elgato camera hub for the prompter that I talked about in my last video, or for the any of the Elgato face cam web cameras. The Ecamm Live software, which is what I'm using now to help out with my YouTube videos, make them easier. There's a Discord plugin here, which I don't really use. I was just playing around with installing plugins. So if I go back to plugins and go down to Discord, I can hit remove, and that'll uninstall the plugin. It'll take it off the box. And if you click this icon right here, this will actually take you to the Elgato plugins website where you can download additional plugins. So when you're on the site, you can get plugins, icon packs, profiles, sounds, music, and screensavers. And you do have to create an account, but it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. And then you can go to the plugins tab and look for a plugin that you want for an application that you use all the time, because some applications will have custom actions like OBS Studio does. The Elgato Camera Hub does. There's one for Teams. There's some for controlling your smart home, controlling Spotify, Apple Music, PowerPoint, just tons and tons of stuff. So I'm not going to go through the whole library of plugins because there's just too many of them there. So we're not going to go through all of that stuff, but I just wanted to show you, give you an idea of the plugins marketplace where you can get additional plugins. And then, like I said, it's just a really handy utility to have, a Stream Deck, because it allows you to streamline your workflow. It allows you to have faster control of certain applications that you use all the time, functionality in those applications, by using the buttons instead of having to go into your application folder and find the application and then click on it with your mouse pointer and all of that stuff. It just can help to make all of that control, workflow control on your Windows or Mac computer a heck of a lot easier for you, a lot more streamlined. And I really love having one. Like I said, I have the Plus, which has, I'll show you what it looks like. I'll show you the profile for my Plus. So this is what the Plus looks like, and this is my profile for Ecamm Live. And you can see on the Plus, I have a action bar where I can set items as well, and that is a touchscreen bar. And then I also have dials. So I've got 8 buttons, 4 actions here, so that's 12. And then here I have 4 dials, so I have 16 controls per page with the Stream Deck Plus. But we'll go back to the 5 because that's the one we're talking about today. And again, you can set up multiple pages. If you were to fill up a page, you just click a button to start a new page. And as you can see, it adds the new page right in, and you continue adding actions and application controls and all of that stuff to the 15 button slots on each page. What you might want to do, and it does by default, you see it has a next page and then a previous page. You may want to have those configured just so you have a quick and easy way to switch between your different pages without having to open the app every time and click on the page number. I have my Stream Deck Plus set, so the first dial will turn between the different pages of programmed actions just to make it quicker and easier for me, which is super cool. I really love that functionality. So this gives you a good idea of all of the things you can do. I mean, there's just, the possibilities are limitless with the Stream Deck. So there's just so many things you can control with it, so many things, actions you can take with it, applications you can launch with it. You can, like I said, you can have links saved to your most favorite websites. You can just press a button and go right to that website with your default browser. Whatever the case may be, this software is, with the hardware, is pretty much got you covered. And I highly recommend the Stream Decks. I got into them via one of my coworkers at my day job, Justin Hurley. He told me about them and kind of got me hooked on them. So now, like I said, I have the Neo, I have the 15 button, and I have the Plus. And if I go back to Elgato's website for a second here and share that with you. So you can see, if you go to the Stream Deck category on their website, they have a ton of products. They've got the original Stream Deck, the Neo, the Plus, the Studio, the pedals, modules, virtual Stream Deck, which I showed you a moment ago, Stream Deck Mobile, Stream Deck XLR. And if we go here, these are add-on accessories they recently came out with for the Stream Deck Plus, where you can have an XLR dock for podcasting or Twitch streaming or something like that. And then they also offer a USB hub, which is the one I have on my Stream Deck Plus, because it also has a SD and micro SD card reader built into the side of it. So that eliminated one piece of gear on my desk. And then they also do have a network dock. But as you can see, they have a lot of great products. They have audio products as well, capture devices, cameras, lighting, the prompters, all of that cool stuff. So a wide variety of products. But like I said, today we're talking about the Stream Deck, and I absolutely love it just because of the fact that It gives me better control of my workflow. I can have a faster, more fluid workflow. And this is not a sponsored video by any means. This is just my being honest with you, my experience with the Stream Decks, using them over the last few months. I absolutely love them, and they do save me a ton of time. Okay, so as you got to see, there is a ton of stuff that you can do with the Elgato Stream Deck devices. The software gives you so much functionality. Now, as I mentioned when we were going through the software, not every application that you have on your computer is necessarily gonna have a Stream Deck plugin, but a lot of the most common and popular ones do, including all the Elgato products, OBS Studio, Ecamm Live, Twitch, a lot of those platforms, Discord, they all have their own unique plugins that allow you to optimize your control of those applications as you're using them for your live stream or your YouTube videos, or just having fun gaming with your friends, whatever the case may be. Now, if you want to pick up one of these Stream Decks, I'll have affiliate links in the description down below where you can buy them on Amazon. You don't pay anything extra by using my affiliate links. It just kicks back a few cents to the channel to help me out and help continue to make free content for all of you out there to enjoy. All right, that's going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch it. Please remember to subscribe down below, turn on all notifications, and I will see you in the next video.